I'm seeking a position on the SROA board because I value public service, and I want to contribute to this community in which I live part-time and value so much. I currently am serving on the board, and I feel that I'm familiar with the issues and how things get done. I wouldn't have the freshman hump, you might say, as far as getting up to speed on the issues. I do feel confident in my ability to lead and show stewardship for our financial and environmental resources that we have here, and want to continue to show that kind of stewardship. I do have a Bachelor's of Science degree cum laude from University of California, Northridge. I also have some graduate work at OSU and other various colleges. I taught school for 20-some years. I was also a deputy clerk business manager for a small feeder school district, and so I have a business background for 8 years, and I have a business background from that. I currently am actually the president of a HOA in British Columbia, Canada. It's a member-owned timeshare, and I serve as West Point's field force coordinator for the state, helping applicants to in their admissions process to West Point, as both of our sons went there. Initially, I didn't feel comfortable just running for a board position, so for quite some time I spent time volunteering on other committees, such as an original amenities committee from the J.T. Atkins study. I was on the long range planning committee when we had that committee. I was also on the public works committee, so I have kind of worked my way up through the ranks, not assuming that I knew everything at the beginning. Very definitely, I think we should. One of the things that makes Sun River distinctive, and when you're looking at all the competition that we have and are going to continue to have, you need to look at what makes your community distinctive. And the fact that we have a river that runs through it is one of the things that makes us distinctive from some of the other resort communities. So since the resort chose to make their marina strictly their commercial marina, I felt it was imperative that our owners and guests had the opportunity to enjoy our river, and that would of course include floating it, whether it's hand launch or boat launch. Well, I think we need to continue to develop our infrastructure and amenities. It fits in with our Vision 2020 long-range plan, and that came about as a result of several studies that we've had, starting with the Lesser study, the J.T. Atkins study, the more recent Sposito study. And if we get the marina, then we need to look at kind of what the next wave might be. And I would like to see 2 circles. I think both are Abbott down by the country store. That clogged intersection needs improvement, and I think we may be able to get a circle in there, as well as the Cottonwood entrance. Now that we have the new Cottonwood coming off of 97, there is an issue at Imnaha and Cottonwood. So 2 new roundabouts. Because we did get some property in the core area through the property exchange with the resort, we will have the opportunity to develop that, and that would include improving our recycling area, possibly in the future a new, well, I shouldn't say new, but a revised police and fire facility there. Restrooms on the pathways. There's one of the issues that is a come up and been asked from many residents. So there's quite a few things that we still improvements to the bike pathways. There's still quite a few things that we can do, mostly through our reserves, as we feather that into the 2020 plan, along with our financial resources, our long-term financial plan. I also think we should address not the demographics so much, but the ratio that we have of full-time residents to non-residents. According to this last questionnaire, it's remained fairly steady. I thought there might be a slight uptake just based on baby boomer population starting to retire. But with more permanent residents, the first reason for me is safety. I would like to see, ideally, every lane have at least one or two full-time owners on it rather than none. I think it's slightly unsafe to have none. We have great police and fire, but still, if I owned a house on a street that had no permanent residents, I wouldn't feel as comfortable as I would with houses that did have a few people who were there most of the time. Also, having more people helps to gives a little bit more vitality for our volunteer positions, whether it be our committees, governance, whatever. Just a little bit stronger core that way. The other thing that at some point I think the board should take a good look at is what long-term governance should look like in Sun River for the best use of our money. And that refers basically back to our hotel tax that goes mostly out of this community, doesn't flow back in. The question somewhat begs for whom, because we do know we have, different groups. We have people that just rent their homes only, see it as an investment. We have people that both use their homes and have a home here as a second home, and of course we have the smallest group, the permanent residents. But my answer will try to concentrate on things that would help everybody. So for example, in the environment, I think as we do our ladder fuel reductions, and actually I'm seeing this right now, I'm really encouraged, that we should pay, in those areas that have a lot of bitter brush, it tends to be north of Cottonwood Road, a little more attention to further removal of that, not all of it, but it is a very combustible plant, and there's not as much in the center or south of on the south side of Sun River. But I do think that's something that is important for the north side. So that would be something in the environmental side. We do have two grassroots groups that are working both in litter patrol, LT Rangers, which I serve with, and also a newer one called WAC. I think it's Whack the Weeds, but anyway, Weed Abatement Committee that's working with environmental to help make sure that we keep our knapweed, noxious weeds under control, as well as the mullein that we had such an outbreak of on the new soil around Shark and some other areas along the river. So a few things in the environmental area I think are things that can be looked at. In recreation, I think I would like to see a little bit more wintertime programming that's non-aquatic. I mean, obviously we have this great Shark Center, but I'd like to see maybe a little more breadth in the programming of activities available to Sun River owners during the other seasons, the other 3 seasons. One of the things that the Design Review Committee has, that my liaison responsibilities to the Design Review Committee has helped with, is there are probably 3 things that I think we could do a better job of with design review. One of them's come up before and continues to be a problem, and that is we do have, although it's dwindling, we still have houses with shake roofs. That's a fire hazard. Not only is it a fire hazard, the house may burn down, or the one next to you, but it actually is impinging on some people's insurance, either ability to get insurance if the house next door has a shake roof, or maybe the cost of that insurance. So getting those to a less combustible surface, I think, would be really good. I also think that having our driveways a little bit more defined would be a little bit easier for our police when we have the occasional overuse of a house by renters, and they're just parking all over. So a more defined driveway situation, not that they all have to be asphalt or concrete, but just defined. And then the one that I really think would help people is to require that when there is a sale, that we have the Sun River owner's inspection, so that when people buy a house that's new to them, and then in a year or two they come to design review because they want to remodel something, they are not surprised by all the things that maybe they have to get in order to meet the current standards. So I really think that would help, any new owner who would buy to require as part of the sale a Sun River inspection. I think about 60% have them now, 50 to 60%, but I really think it would behoove everyone to have it.